Hi folks, it's Pazzy here, and because I'm about to start playing Red Dead Redemption 2, that means it's time for a brand new modding tutorial. While I may not actually end up modding my own playthrough, I decided to at least learn how to because I think modding is fun, and I will say in my research I discovered that there's a lot of misinformation out there about what is actually required to mod the game. Some guides make it way more complicated than it needs to be when in reality there are only two things we need and we get them in the same place. So I'm going to take you through this very easy process step by step using some practice mods, beginning with the basic setup, and then I'll go deeper into some of those optional tools that you may also want to use. So if you need to skip to or rewatch any specific instructions, you can jump to them using the chapter markers I've provided in the description below, along with all the necessary links. So for step 1, before we download anything, we need to find our game root folder. If you use Steam, you can do this by right-clicking on Red Dead 2 in your game library, going to Manage, then Browse Local Files, which will bring us directly there. If you instead use like Epic or anything else, your root folder will be in a different location. Just leave me a comment if you're having trouble finding it and I'll help. But if you're a Steam user like me, my game is under Program Files 86, Steam, Steam Apps, Common, Red Dead Redemption 2. That's the folder. And let's make sure to right click on the folder and then pin it to quick access since we'll be coming back to it often. For step 2, moving along quickly, we need to get both ScriptHook and an ASI Loader. These are the two resources that allow our mods to work. ScriptHook basically injects the mod, which will be in a .asi format, which is why we need the loader, our custom library. You can access both these things from the link I provided in the description. Here it also tells us that mods don't work in Red Dead Online, so that's important to note, story mode only, and that we're also going to get this other thing called Native Trainer, which I'll talk more about in a moment. For now, let's scroll down to this table where it says download. And then for some reason, it takes me this roundabout way through the blog. Not sure why. You may not have to do this, but just make sure you're ignoring all of the fake download ads and selecting from the table. In our downloads now, let's go into the zipped folder. Don't even worry about extracting anything, just double click, then go into bin, and we're going to drag and drop both dinput8.dll, that's our ASI loader, and ScriptHook into our root folder that we pinned in the previous step, like so. You may have noticed there that I also grabbed Native Trainer there in the middle, but this is completely optional. Let me actually show you what it does so you can make an educated choice on whether or not you want to take it now. All trainers are essentially cheat engines that allow you to load assets into the game. So here we can press F5 to open up Native Trainer, then hold Control and directional arrows to move around. You can go back with backspace, hit Enter to select. It's pretty intuitive. And we can spawn whatever we want. So here's a husky. Why not? But again, Native Trainer is completely optional. And that is it, the simple setup. The loader and ScriptHook are all you need for mods in that .asi format, which is going to be most quality of life gameplay mods. Whether or not you will want to get any additional tools will solely depend on if the mods you want to use have extra requirements. So before we start looking at those, just a quick note, I personally like to keep some kind of record when I'm modding in case something funky happens, as it sometimes does. So I'm going to make a folder on my desktop and drop a copy of each mod in there. This is purely organizational, but if you'd like to do this as well, now's a good time. Now we can move on to step 3, getting our mods. Nexus is my go-to website for mods, but have a look around. Once you've found one that you want to use, just make sure that you read the description and any instructions, specifically looking for requirements. So Fast Walking Outside Camp, for instance, says that we need ScriptHook, either Alexander Blade's version or version 2. We already have that first one, so we are good to download. Make sure you're manually downloading, and then you can drop a copy in the desktop folder if you made it. But what is essential is that you move a copy into that game folder, your root folder, the one that we pinned in step 1. So here we see fastwalk.asi, that is the mod, drag and drop to our root folder, and we're good to go. The same goes for automatic greet replies, which says it only requires ScriptHook again. The mod creator does recommend in the comments that you use version 2, but version 1 works fine for me, so we're going to go with it. Again, manually downloading and putting a copy in our game folder. The next time we queue up the game, we should see those mods at work. So here we have John walking slowly, gonna increase speed slightly to a fast walk.
Faster. Easy.
Was that an auto reply? Let's keep testing. Someone say hello to me, please.
Partner? Mister?
There we go. There's our auto greet. And now we'll increase speed from a fast walk to a jog, from a jog to a run, and a sprint. So mods are working. Good deal. However, there are other mods, mostly those that add cosmetics or new game assets that have additional requirements. The most common ones being Lenny's Mod Loader and Rampage. So like here for long hairstyles, under requirements it says Rampage Trainer or LML, which stands for Lenny's Mod Loader. The same goes for the Man with No Name poncho, which lists no requirements here, but this is why it's also important to read the description and installation instructions, because down below it says requires latest update of LML. In fact, I think you can use this one with Rampage as well, but for the sake of practice, let's add these in with Lenny's Mod Loader first. So possible step 4, if you're getting Lenny's Mod Loader, you can access that through the link in the description. Then scroll down to where it says download this file on the right, and then select the main file option that was most recently updated. It should be right there at the top. If it takes you to a different page, just confirm the download. And, oh, new desktop. Hi. If we go into that zipped folder, there are some resources in here, including some examples and also the README, bonus points for stopping to read it. But we just need these 2 folders called Mod Loader and Mod Manager. First, we're going to select Mod Manager, take the entirety of the folder over to our game root folder. And then we're going to go into Mod Loader for everything else. There's a helpful file here called Place All This in the Game Root folder. So we're going to do that, selecting everything and dragging and dropping. Now, this lowercase LML folder we just added to our root is where many of the Lenny's Mod Loader mods are going to go, just directly in there. The 2 that I'm using as practice happened to ask us to create a folder in here. This is why it's important to read all of the instructions. They asked us to create a folder called Stream. I don't think it technically matters. I'm not sure about that, but we're going to go with the directions here. Create that folder called Stream, and I'm going to pin it while I'm here as well. Now we can go back into our downloads. I'm going to delete this zipped LML because we don't need it anymore. And now let's go into the Man with No Name poncho. The README happens to mention Rampage and not Lenny's Mod Loader, but on the Nexus website, on the mod page, it mentions Lenny's Mod Loader and gives us directions there. And the directions just say drag and drop into that stream folder we created. So let's drag and drop all of these in there and do the same for the other mod. I like to clean up my downloads as I go. That's just personal preference. But moving into this new mod, the README says if you use LML, put these files into LML/streaming. They mean stream. So we're going to do that as well, selecting everything and dropping it in that stream folder. And now one last step. You can actually do these in reverse order. Get Lenny's Mod Loader ready and then move your mods. I just moved the mods first. But we do need to make sure that Lenny's Mod Loader knows where our game is. So coming back into that Mod Manager folder and then opening up the application, the red and black Mod Manager UI. That'll open Lenny's Mod Loader. And then here we need to set our game folder location by clicking the 3 dots. Hitting our pinned root folder from way back in step 1 and hitting select and then save. If we were dropping mods directly into that lowercase LML folder, they would show up here, but since we made that special place called stream, they don't actually show. This is also where you could move mods around if you wanted to change your load order, but again, we don't need any of that. We actually don't even need to keep it open. It's just going to wait for our game and be ready to go the next time we queue it up. And here we are. All it took was taking John to get his haircut and then switching over to the boar talisman in the wardrobe, which is now our poncho.
How do you do, mister?
Auto greet still working. Fast walking still working. And now he's got his new fit.
Welcome to Tumbleweed, son. Treat us with respect and we'll love you like family. Misbehave and we'll slaughter you like a hog.
Hello, miss.
That clear. You walk away from me at your peril, my friend.
Yikes.
Anyway.
Oh.
Out of the way, tough guy.
Excuse me?
Sorry. Just checking him out. And then there are some mods that will ask for additional requirements on top of that. Like here we have Cute Cabin, which wants us to get Map Editor and Rampage Trainer. Rampage is the big one that a lot of modders make it seem like you absolutely have to have, but my personal recommendation is not to get Rampage unless you find a mod you want to use that needs it. Rampage definitely has more features than the basic native trainer, but personally I've discovered while making this video that I'm just not a fan of trainers in general. I'm still going to show you how to use Rampage and Map Editor though, because I think each person should get to decide how they want to mod rather than me telling you this is the only way, you know? So possible step 5 and 6, we're going to get both the Map Editor and Rampage. Luckily, they both have very clear install directions. For the Map Editor, we need to download, then move from that zipped folder both the folder that's in there and the ASI file to our game root. And then the same goes for Rampage, though it does mention under requirements that we need the online content unlocker, though that I guess technically is a soft requirement because you only need it if you want the online content. It's actually its own ASI loader that you can use alongside the one we already have, so you can grab it now. But again, it's not a must for our Cute Cabin, so just for saving some time, we're going to download Rampage, open from our downloads, and once again move the folder and the ASI to our game folder. One more thing for Rampage though, if you got native trainer back in step 2, make sure that you delete it now. It is possible to have 2 trainers at once, just mapping them to different hotkeys, but why? Again, go for it if you would really want 2 trainers, but it seems unnecessary to me. So we're going to delete native trainer, just use Rampage, and I'm actually not going to load any mods yet. I want to test that these are working in game first. So I just loaded into a save and got this welcome message from Rampage Trainer. Oh, that's nice. If you're a controller user like me, it's nice to know that it'll work seamlessly with the controller. And I'm going to hit continue, then accept the terms of service, and then with the keyboard hitting F5 will open up the menu, and it looks like it's working fine. So then let's test out Map Editor as well. We'll exit out of this, and F9 looks great. Let's go get our mod. I just downloaded Cute Cabin, and luckily the creator left really clear directions as well as some extra tutorials and things like that. And they made it super easy on us by setting up the folders so that all we need to do is drag and drop these 2 into our root, and it will put the files in the correct locations. That way we don't have to hunt down where each thing is going to go. Not everybody does this, so again, make sure you read instructions. This mod makes changes to the Stilt Shack, so I'm just riding up here in the northwest part of the map. The cabin where Mr. Black and Mr. White live. Well, not right now, but... So then we're gonna go to load map and Cute Cabin interior. Looks like it's doing something. The directions do say to load the interior first, so good deal. Then we'll exit. And then next, using Rampage, we are going to, sorry, just looking at the directions, come down to, is it world or spawner? And then objects. Then load/save. And, oh, there it is, Cute Cabin exterior. All right, we did it. I figured I would end the video this time through by just saying some common troubleshooting tips to save us all some time. So if you are running into any issues with your mods, a lot of these are universal and will work for any game, by the way. But here is some advice. So number 1, if none of your mods are showing up, it could be that they were placed in the wrong location or that you have a conflict. My general rule is to try loading them in one at a time, and for this game specifically, rereading the directions to make sure you're placing them in the right place so you know where you're going wrong. Tip number 2, if your game is crashing or freezing, always my first suggestion is to update all your drivers, restart your PC, and also maybe run the game as an administrator by right-clicking and then going through properties. You could try the same with the Rockstar app as well. Number 3, try a different version of some of the mods that I gave today. So like ScriptHook and the ASI Loader both have a second version. Same with switching between Vulkan and DirectX. I've heard that sometimes going back and forth can help with graphics issues. Speaking of graphics issues, that's terrifying. There's a floating mane and eyeballs and a mouth down there. You know what? That could be an online horse that I'm missing because I didn't get the online content unlocker. See, this is why you do as I say, not as I do. Okay, I switched to some B-roll of me being a doofus with a native trainer for these last few tips. Where were we? 4. If all else fails and you have to do a fresh install of the game, before you do that, you might want to verify your game files. If you use Steam, you can do that by right-clicking, going to Properties, Installed Files, and then Verify Integrity, just to make sure you didn't accidentally delete something or move something you shouldn't have before doing a whole fresh startup with your game and your mods. And then 5, lastly, if there's anything you're struggling with or a specific mod you want help setting up, just leave me a comment. I am by no means an expert in modding Red Dead Redemption 2, but I have modded a lot of other games, and I always like finding a solution with you. So I'll do the research, I'll do the work, and a lot of people come to my aid often and help and respond to comments to give some tips of their own sometimes too. So don't be afraid to leave me a comment. And I believe that's all. It would help me so much if you liked this video and also subscribe to my channel. I will be starting my Red Dead Redemption 2 Let's Play here soon. And, oh dear, now it's time for my super awkward send-off. See you around, partner. Yep, nailed it.